just going to be explaining a little bit about what we do when patients come in and they've had an issue with their brain. It can be a concussion, it can be a balance issue, it could be a stroke, it could be kids with attention deficit disorder, a number of different things that we treat here at the clinic. But the basis of the neurology and how we look at patients and the examination and the therapy is very similar. We're just going to sort of touch base and give you a small taste of what happens when you come into the clinic. The neurology, we actually have a separate room because a lot of people have sensitivities to light or sound. They can't handle the big noise of the clinic, so we've sort of isolated you into your own neurological suite, as we call it. The first thing we look at for the brain is we sort of divide it into the old brain or the primitive brain, and that's the part of your brain that's involved with survival, eating, reproducing, digestion, the basic things of life, making your heart beat, and so forth. And then we also look at the newer brain, the cortex, and we divide that into right and left because it is divided that way. And we also look at parts of your brain that make everything kind of come together. So we've got ways of doing that. The first thing we look at, and the biggest biometric of whether your brain is healthy or not, is posture. So when you see people that are kind of walking around life and they're kind of all hunched over, we know that their brain isn't doing well. So when we're looking at your posture, we have a number of different therapies here that can affect and help you with your posture. Okay, so the second biometric we talked about, and one of the most important, of course, is balance. A lot of people come to our clinic with balance issues, benign positional vertigo, they have eye issues, and they just don't feel very well when your balance is off. So we take balance as one of the most important things that we treat. So we test two ways. The first way is we get the patients to bring their feet together, cross your arms in front. We just watch them looking with their eyes open, and then we get them to close their eyes when they're ready, and we see if there's any sway, if there's any movement. Once we've done that and established they're okay there, the next is that we put them on a perturbation platform, which is basically a piece of foam or a cushion off your couch, and we do the same test. So eyes open, and then eyes closed. And we see if there's any waiver, and generally healthy patients should be able to be just like Kyle there and do it for up to 15 to 20 seconds, okay? So the next biometric that we look at is we look at basically posture and balance and motion, and that of course is your gait. Gait is somewhat primitive, and we can use gait as a way of seeing first off if a person's healthy, and we also use gait as a very wonderful therapeutic tool to help make a brain work better. Brain spends a lot of time on balance, posture, and gait, so if you can affect that and make it better, then the brain will actually improve in its whatever you're trying to get it to do, including some of the higher brain functions that we talked about. Okay, so I'm going to just get Kyle to walk. He's just going to walk towards me here and then stop, and he's going to walk back. And what we're doing here is we're looking at how even his walk is. Is he swinging his arms? And how well balanced is he? We look at the gait as far as the stride length. Is it even? Is he dragging his feet? Patients with Parkinson's, patients with Alzheimer's and dementias will often have lots of issues with this. We'll also then get the patient to do things like dual tasking, which is the problem in his gait with his just brain reflexes, or is there something going on higher? So we might get him to say the alphabet, skipping every other letter, and say it out loud, so start with A and skip every letter as he walks. Go ahead.
A, C, E, F.
And you can see that when he does that, he definitely struggles more. His speed decreases, his fluidity of his motion decreases. So we would say that there is perhaps some frontal lobe involvement there. So after we've done balance, posture, and gait, we look at vision, and we look at the way that the eyes are working together as a team, or perhaps not. Right now, we've got Kyle wearing some pretty funky glasses here. These are Frenzo goggles, and what they have is you can see that they have a light behind them, so we can see the eyes wonderfully. He actually can't see anything, right?
No.
It's absolutely, you can't see, but we can see what's happening with his eyes. So we can see if his eyes are moving when they shouldn't be. When I turn his head, I can see do his eyes move appropriately and an opposite and equal reaction. And it allows us to do a lot of therapy as well. If we want to maybe do some vestibular or balance training and we don't want him to be able to focus on anything, that's what these glasses are for. Okay, so another great therapeutic modality that we use is a great system here called motion guidance. Kyle's using his right hand to trace with a laser an intricate pattern. As you can see, he's using his left brain to drive this, to move it, and then there's a lot of feedback in his vision, and we can see how stable he is. Patients that have had issues may not be able to do it nearly this well, but that's what we can use, and we can teach them how to use this at home, and they do this in the clinic. It's just another wonderful tool. We can also put the lasers on his head, and we can do therapies the same way. He can move his head around, and we can put it on his legs, and we can get him to walk differently, so we can use it for arm swing and gait.